Every great creative work stands on the shoulders of giants. Welcome to RetroInspection, where we examine and find out where the things we love today came from.
So the question is, are the Lensmen the precursors to the Green Lanterns? And your reasoning is because the Lensman and the first Lensman was published, and of course Triplanetary was published about 10 to 15 years prior to the Green Lanterns and the Green Lantern Corps, except to say that there was a Green Lantern, and maybe you should talk about that really quickly.
Okay, so in 1940, there is the original, what we would nowadays call the Golden Age Green Lantern. And he was a guy named Alan Scott, and he received a lantern that was made from a magic meteor that had fallen to Earth. And from a piece of metal that he tore off that lantern, he made himself a ring, and he could recharge that ring by touching it to the lantern and reciting this oath that he came up with. And it gave him essentially magical powers. The original Green Lantern was more of a magic hero than a science-based superhero. And this gets retconned. I will not weary you with 80 years worth of retcons as to like where
right, but this Green Lantern
is now in continuity.
He got this magical lantern and the ring, kind of like Aladdin, basically.
It's in some respects, yeah. But point being, he gets magic powers. He can fly. He's more or less invulnerable, et cetera, et cetera.
Except the wood.
Except a wood. Wood was his weakness because he had to have one. It was, I assume, purely arbitrary. So anywho, come the end of the 1940s, that character ceases to be published along with a lot of the other Golden Age characters. In the late 50s, DC wants to start bringing back superheroes after a kind of a fallow period in that genre. And one of the ones they come up with, in addition to like a new version of the Flash, is a new version of the Green Lantern. This one is the test pilot, Hal Jordan, who gets a magic. It's so scientifically advanced that it's tantamount to magic. But he gets a ring from a dying alien. This alien is part of an interstellar police force called the Green Lantern Corps, based on a planet called Oa, and created by a race of little blue guys called the Guardians of Oa. So, power set is roughly the same as the previous Green Lantern, except the new one can fly in outer space. His weakness is simply anything the color yellow. If you throw a chunk of rock that you've spray painted yellow at him, it goes through the ring's force field and knocks him out. So if you have a yellow painted bullet and you shoot it at him, you can kill this guy.
So let me ask this question. Why did DC feel the need to retcon this character?
Well, it was a difference, I think largely a difference in the time. So, by the late 50s, this is post-Sputnik, we're in the middle of the space race. So we want the superheroes are going to be more scientifically based. Not that there weren't ones in the Golden Age. Hell, the original Flash was essentially kind of a science-based hero. That he was the result of a chemical accident, and so was the 1950s or Silver Age Flash. But like I said, the power ring that even the new Green Lantern gets is so scientifically advanced. It is pretty much magic. So, we're just renaming stuff and giving it a veneer of science as opposed to the previous veneer of magic.
Okay. So, in your estimation, because the creators of the new iteration of the Green Lantern, Gil Kane and Joe Broome, I think.
Without looking it up, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that I'm probably wrong, but maybe not.
It's easy enough to check.
Yeah, they were likely influenced by Triplanetary and First Lensman because this became a actually quite popular series, and they probably read it. One of the things that is loosely to make our premises work, we have to kind of loosely agree that these writers and these creators were always reading and always writing, or are always reading the popular work and maybe even unpopular work of the day, just to entertain themselves. And so they can't help but be influenced by these things.
Yeah, they were fans as well as being creators.
Right. And so people think because the Arisians uplifted the Lensman and gifted them this weapon or this tool to use, that's quite similar to what happens to Green Lanterns. That the Oans, this ancient race like the ancient Arisians, wield this power, and they gift this power that they have in the power rings to worthy subjects. Unlike the Arisians, the Oans don't set about to create through eugenics or any kind of genetic manipulation, which we'll talk about later in one of the characters in First Lensman, where the ring seeks out and finds a worthy subject, someone of pure heart or great courage, etc. Whereas the Arisians, they actually create the lineage that produces the worthy subjects. So in your estimation, are the Lensmen the precursors of the Green Lantern Corps?
Yes, to a limited extent. I mean, obviously there's similarities. It's not one-to-one. I think accusing the creators of the Silver Age Green Lantern of ripping off E. Doc Smith would be overstating it.
Like, subscribe, repost, share everywhere. To see what else we're up to, visit xynobooks.com, xenobooks.com.